Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in China for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. The SCO is part of the multinational platforms where India shares the stage with region and global powers. Both leaders shook hands right before the bilateral meeting, which lasted an hour. This was only the second bilateral meeting between the two leaders since last year's Kazan BRICS summit. Prime Minister Modi said that an agreement was reached between the two countries to continue the Kailash Mansarovar pilgrimage and that direct flights were also being resumed. He also thanked President Xi for hosting the SCO summit in Tianjin.
डिसएंगेजमेंट के बाद शांति और स्थिरता का माहौल बना हुआ है। हमारे स्पेशल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स के बीच बॉर्डर मैनेजमेंट के संबंध में सहमति बनी। कैलाश मानसरोवर यात्रा फिर से शुरू की। दोनों देशों के बीच डायरेक्ट फ्लाइट भी फिर से शुरू की जा रही है। हमारे सहयोग से दोनों देशों के 2.8 बिलियन लोगों के हित जुड़े हुए हैं। इससे पूरी मानवता के कल्याण का मार्ग भी प्रशस्त होगा। परस्पर विश्वास, सम्मान और संवेदनशीलता के आधार पर हम अपने संबंधों को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध हैं। एक्सेलेंसी, चीन द्वारा SCO की सफल अध्यक्षता के लिए मैं आपको बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। एक बार फिर चीन यात्रा के निमंत्रण के लिए और आज की हमारी बैठक के लिए आपका हार्दिक धन्यवाद।
President Xi, in his statement, emphasized that it was vital that the two friendly and populous countries work together for the benefit and well-being of their citizens. I'll talk to our correspondent William Denslow, who is joining us from Brussels. Denslow, good to see you. What is Europe saying about this SCO summit?
Well, it's something that European leaders are watching very closely indeed, waiting to see how the dynamics from this meeting shake out, especially when it comes to the bilaterals between President Xi Jinping of China and Russia's President Vladimir Putin, as well as a meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and President Putin as well. The reasons for that, how this will all impact the war in Ukraine. First, looking at the dynamic involving China. We know that China has been embroiled in recent sanctions packages that the EU has placed on Russia for alleged dual-use goods sent to Russia that EU claim are being used to help their war effort. The EU is urging Beijing to use its influence over Russia to see them come to the negotiating table. And we've also seen in recent months the latest 18th round of EU sanctions on Russia also embroiled some energy facilities in India as well. There have been concerns that that could derail momentum we've seen so far this year on the EU and India reaching a free trade agreement. So all eyes, as far as Brussels is concerned, is on the dynamics of this relationship, whether there'll be any momentum when it comes to both India and China turning the screw on Russia to try and force them to do more to find a peaceful resolution to the conflict in Ukraine. That's certainly the hope here in Brussels.
All right, we'll see how the dynamics play out tomorrow when the summit actually begins. I've been talking to our correspondent, William Denslow. Denslow, thank you. Let's now talk to Dr. Jayant Menon. He's a visiting senior fellow at the Institute of Southeast Asian Studies. Dr. Menon, welcome to the program and thanks for your time. How can both India and China take this Mending the Ribbon initiative forward?
I think this is actually a very positive development for both parties. India, of course, has always been a country that's been multi-aligned. For a while there, some would have seen them drifting maybe closer and closer to the US, but I think now we see there's a greater balance, which is how they've always been in the past. These are the two most populous nations. These are great ancient civilizations. They should be partners, as has been said, rather than rivals. There's a lot to be gained by working together, economically especially, but also in other spheres. And I think this is a very positive development for the two countries, for the region, and indeed the world.
Dr. Menon, the much anticipated meeting between the two most populous leaders has happened. Everyone now is asking what next. After fixing the friction and starting engagements, and now you say it's a positive reaction, how do both nations convince their citizens that it is working and it is going to work?
Yeah, that's a very important question. So, of course, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization event is very much about optics. It's about presenting, a unified face to the global community. The real effects will come from concrete actions. We've seen a small but real step taken with the resumption of direct flights to increase people-to-people connectivity, tourism. These are the sorts of small steps in the right direction, I think, that people will see as beneficial on the ground. There's a lot more that can be achieved. I think India has been unnecessarily concerned about China's economic dominance. I think in a world of global supply chains, there's a lot to be gained from cooperation. There's ways in which both countries can benefit in the disruptions taking place globally, especially with the US becoming more isolationist and protectionist, creating room for these other players to grow and prosper.
All right, Dr. Jayant Menon, thank you very much for giving us time. We'll have to leave it there.
Thank you also.